you need to take this heart test. Here's why. This is a test looking for the plaque in your arteries that actually bring blood supply to your heart. Who needs to take this? Actually, everybody should be doing this test because 1 out of every 3rd person is pre-diabetic. Blood sugar problems cause heart disease, and it's still the #1 killer in this country. This is a test that's minimally invasive. You're going to get a CT scan of just your heart only. So you could be going through a tube like this. It's actually more of a big ring. It's not very claustrophobic, which is great. First thing they do is they hook you up to a 4-lead EKG, boom, 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 to check and see that your heart is not racing and beating too fast because that'll blur the image. But what the scan is looking for is the calcium content in your coronary arteries that supply and bring blood supply to your heart. So this is the first picture. This is a CT scan of your heart. Second thing, we're looking for calcium and plaque in those arteries. So you have right circumflex artery, the big bad guy. It's called the Widowmaker artery. Look that up on Google. You can even look it up on YouTube. There's a Widowmaker movie. Really worth watching. And the Widowmaker artery is called the left anterior descending. Left anterior descending. We do not want any plaque in that artery. So if you have a heart attack because of your left anterior descending artery is blocked, 80% of the time you're going to be present with the Lord. So that's not a good thing to rush that. Next, we're going to look at, this is what the scan will actually show. It shows whiteness or plaque in those coronary arteries. That's exactly what you don't want to see. Here's an example of a patient for me, and if you look in heart tissue should never be white unless there's calcium or plaque in it. So you can see some up here, a little bit there, a little bit there. This is an actual patient of mine who had the scans. We've done scans like this for many, many people over a lot of years. Literally 15 to 20 years ago, we did a scan on a patient, 65-year-old gentleman who is skinny as a rail, but he's worked all of his life, but he's smoked and he's drank, and of course eating lots of carbohydrates. Blood sugar problems as well. Had lower back pain. We took x-rays on his lower back and saw a bunch of plaque in his lower abdominal aorta. So he had plaque in his abdominal aorta, and I told him, I said, if you have plaque there, you definitely have plaque here in your heart. So I then instructed him to do this particular testing. This testing was off the charts, absolutely terrible, very, very much plaque in that left anterior descending artery. I said, you need to get to a cardiologist quickly. We ended up saving his life. So this is the same patient that we did a scan most recently on him. Here's the report. It's called a CT calcium score, or coronary artery calcium test. And it demonstrates, is there any problems in the coronary arteries? Here it says history, coronary artery disease, evaluate the degree of artery calcification. So down here in the arteries it said, and I highlighted this, the left anterior descending coronary artery has mild vessel artery calcification. So he gets a score, and the score is a 57, mild calcium. But guess where it's at? It's in that special artery that you do not want to have any calcium and plaque in. Therefore, we can deplaque his arteries with targeted nutrients and herbs, as opposed to big open heart surgery. Many people would be fearful of doing this test because they don't want to actually have open heart surgery. Well, you can actually start the deplaquing process just with nutrients, which is great. So now let's talk lifestyle and supplements. What should you do to begin this deplaquing process? First and foremost, you got to change your diet. You have to take the starch and sugar out of your diet and become more ketogenic. Lots of good essential fats and lots of good proteins and veggies, really good for you. Well, you bring that insulin and blood sugar down so you stop doing the damage to your blood vessels. And then therefore what happens when you do damage to your blood vessels, you get the injury of that inner skin lining of your blood vessels that your body will then send cholesterol and repair processes to repair it, and eventually that'll calcify and turn into plaque. So then what should you do? Stop eating starch and sugar. Secondly, let's talk about supplements. Supplements. Vitamin K, you probably heard of that, but there's a special form of vitamin K called the MK7 fraction of vitamin K that's complete calcium metabolism. So you want to be able to start that process to repair that tissue. Also, vitamin D is really big, selenium is big, also starting to support your liver with regards to cholesterol levels and the very specific size of the cholesterol particles to begin normalizing that. So you could easily use something like Livaplex to start supporting your liver. Also, to repair blood vessels, we like to call it the anti-stroke vitamin, is something called Cyruta Plus, C-Y-R-U-T-A, Cyruta Plus, to help. It's high in a special type of whole food vitamin C that helps to repair blood vessels in that endothelium, that inner skin lining of your blood vessels. So that's also really good. CoQ10 is good and best in its natural form. So there are several products that I like. Cardio Plus is one of them, and Cellular Vitality is another. You could take also just CoQ10 from a different company. Designs for Health has a really good CoQ10 that's super good. What else could you do? B vitamins, B vitamin complex, whole food B vitamins are also really important and essential. Fish oil is super good. You want to make sure your fish oil is clean and fresh, clean from heavy metals and chemicals, but also very, very fresh. Great one is Standard Process has a product called Ulprima EPA DHA. Another company has, from Designs for Health, has a fish oil that's hypo, and it's in a liquid form. So literally a teaspoon of it is 3,000 milligrams in 1 teaspoon of fish oil. It's very anti-inflammatory, so it's going to help you to start healing that tissue. If you're interested in taking this test, please contact me at draugustine@gmail.com. You can call my office. Phone number is 562-860-3404. If you're one of my patients, you're definitely going to get this test done. It's not expensive. In my area, it's $99 to do this test. Very much worth it. I hope this helps. Please let me know. I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'm on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok.